All right, well, welcome to Hendricks How-Tos. My name is Nicole Taylor, and I am a Big Leap coach and a graduate of the Leadership and Transformation program with Katie Hendricks. One of the core practices that I've returned to again and again, almost a little bit over a decade later, is the essence interview. If you haven't thought about the word essence, the way I think of essence is I think of my essence as the core self, the part of me that is most me, the part of me that is kind of least impacted by socialization and external narratives and external information. It's just those moments when you get quiet, you turn inward, and that innermost heart, that's the essence self. So that's what we are going to get in contact with and interview today. And this is a really beautiful process just for those moments when it would feel good to you to turn back in and get in touch with how best to nourish yourself. Knowing that when we know how to nourish ourselves, we are the first beneficiary of that, and that fullness that we have can then overflow into how we are able to be with one another in our families, in our close communities, and in how we move through the world at large. So this essence interview just gives us a couple of ways to kind of tune into that essence and see what most delights our innermost self. So to get there, we can do that a couple of ways. One way that I do this sometimes with groups is we walk really fast. We just notice how it feels to be walking faster than feels good to us. And then we slow down and we walk really slowly, and we see how it feels to be a little bit behind the pace that feels good to us. And then we find that not too fast, not too slow, just right pace of walking. And that's your essence pace. Other times, maybe you're in a situation, you're on a long plane ride and you're doing this exercise and you can't be walking up and down the aisles. So you just want to kind of get grounded and come into the essence pace that way. And that's what we'll do together today. So I want to invite you to come into a comfortable seat. You'll notice that my eyes naturally closed. So that can happen, or the eyes can be open. Just let the gaze be soft. And start by feeling the supports that are there with you right now. And so that might feel like the seat underneath your glutes. That might feel like leaning into the chair so that your back is supported by the chair. Sometimes that's noticing how the soles of the feet feel as they rest upon the earth. And feel into those places of support. And notice what it's like to let yourself receive that support. So rather than holding ourselves up, even though we have all the support, how is it to relax into that? And then bring your awareness to the breath. Not shaping the breath at all just yet, but just noticing, how do you feel as you inhale? And how do you feel as you exhale? And sometimes just awareness to the breath kind of gives us some data about how the body is and what we might want to move or adjust in order to feel a bit more ease. And let your attention come to the act of breathing and feeling that inherent nourishment in the breath. The in-breath bringing in fresh oxygen. The out-breath releasing what you no longer need. And so that every in-breath is a reminder that we know how to take in nourishment. And every out-breath is a reminder that we know how, in some ways, to let go. And as we feel that sense of kind of arriving back deeply into ourselves, And from here, let the eyes open. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions and let the answers come from that essence. So think of this almost as like auto writing. It's like auto speaking rather than kind of flying into the head to think about it. Just let the answer kind of arise from within. And you might want to write something down, or you might want to just, if this is on your phone, just take a little essence walk and let those answers flow out just into space, and know that there's a place in you where those answers are sitting and you can write them down later. So you can do it either way. And so first start by, what is the name for your essence? And just listening for what comes. And then as I read these questions, just hear that name each time I read the question so that you are linked to that part of yourself and that the answer flows from that core. So what is your experience of moving at your essence pace? What is your experience of moving at your essence pace? And saying the name to yourself again, what most nourishes you? What most nourishes you? What movements delight you? What movements delight you? Bonus question. How do you know when you feel delighted? What happens inside? How do you know when you feel delighted? What happens inside of you that gives you that clue? Let's say something wonderful happens and you feel this deep sense of expansion. After that expansion, how do you like to integrate or rest? So after there's a period of blossoming, what most supports you in integrating that energy or in taking rest? How do you most like to play? What are your favorite ways to play? What qualities of people do you most enjoy being around? Asking your essence, what qualities of people do you most enjoy being around? Bonus question, how do you most appreciate being in community? How do you appreciate being in community? What lights you up about being in community? And our final question for today, what most nourishes you? And saying the name of your essence to yourself and asking what most nourishes you. Beautiful. All right, so that's just a little midday break of touching in with your essence. You can do that at any time. And the other thing you can do is now you have this list of things, some of which is probably not new to you, but it can be such a wonderful reminder. And some of it may be new, depending on how you are, who you are today. So the invitation from me to you is to take some time here and there, pop this list out, and give yourself one of these essence delights, whether it's the movement that delights you, whether it's the people that delight you, whether it's doing something that's nourishing. It's a really important time to be refilling our cup so that we are full and enjoying our human existence, and also so that as we do our work in the world, we're doing that from a place of fullness and love. So thank you so much for taking this time today. It was great to be with you, and take good care. See you next time.